Okay, so we are going to start our workout today at either the front edge of your mat. Now, the view you're going to have of me will most likely have my head cut up often. I'm going to try and back you guys up with a laptop. You know, it's not quite as good as an iPhone turning sideways. But you'll start with your feet together at the front edge of your mat, hands together at your heart, how we would normally start if this were a typical yoga class. Bend the knees a little bit, soften your knees, take a big inhale and stretch your arms out to the side, up to the sky, and then push your legs straight. And then as you exhale, circle your arms back around, hands to the heart. So hands at the heart, soften your knees. So you're almost in like a slight little squat with your bum being heavy. And then as you inhale, your arms go to the side, you reach your hands up to the sky and you press your legs as straight as you can, and then look up to your fingers. And then as you exhale, you just pull your hands down to your heart. Okay, I'll back up so you can see me here. Take a bend in the knees, drop your hips so the weight is even in the heels and the balls of the feet. Take a big inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Look up to your fingers as you inhale. And then exhale, draw the hands down to your heart. Good, soften your knees, weight heavy in the heels and your bum. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, stretch, hands together. This time, arms go to the side and you dive forward, stretching your spine down. Now, while you're here, you drop your head and you bend your knees so that the stretch isn't so much in the back. You're just letting yourself hang with your knees bent. Hands go to your shins, keep your knees bent, and try to arch your back. So your head lifts and you arch your back, lifting your chin, your chest. And then as you exhale, let your head drop, release, and you can straighten the knees a little bit. Bend the knees again, push your hands into your shins, lift your chest, and try to arch your back as much as you can. So you're lifting your chin, your chest, while your knees are bent. You're really showing off your tail feathers. And then exhale, drop and release. One more time, hands to the shins, inhale, lift your chin, your chest, arch your back. You might feel your hamstring stretch increase, which is a good thing. And then release, bring your hands down to the mat. Step the right leg back, and then step the left leg back, and bend your knees, sit back in child's pose. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, lift your hips, and this is called downward facing dog in yoga, but really you're just lifting your hips, straightening the legs, and pushing your hips back as far as you can. Okay. And then you'll bend your knees, come back down into child's pose and release. Again, lift your hips, push through your arms, push your hips high to the sky, pressing back into a downward facing dog. And while you're here, plug your shoulders away from your ears along the back. Bend your knees, sit back into child's pose and stretch. And one more time, push your hips up and back, stretch, draw your shoulder blades down your back. And then push through all 10 fingers. So it's not just your wrist that has your body weight, but all 10 fingers push. And then shift your body forward so you're in a plank, planking the body. I have to wiggle my feet back to make that work. You might have to as well. You're in your plank position. And then either from the knees or from the toes, you lower from a push-up position, right? You bend your elbows really close to your ribs and come all the way down to the mat. Now engage your abs, Pilates style. From the knees, push yourself back up into that push-up. So you just do a push-up there. You can lift the knees if you'd like or stay on the knees. And we lower again from this push-up position. Our chest goes down to the floor, okay? While you're there, engage your abs and then push yourself up. Good. One more time, lower yourself all the way down to the floor. And now keep your hips on the floor, push through your arms, and this is called cobra or seal, but you're pushing your chest up and arching your back. You only go up to a height that feels good in your back. So you might have to just go up on the forearms. And then you lower yourself back down. Do that one more time from this view. We'll push up, we arch our back, maybe a little from the forearms, or you can start to straighten the arms all the way. You lift your chest, your gaze, your spine. And then lower back down. From here, do a push-up again. Hands under the shoulders, push yourself up, pike your hips back, and stretch. Good. So plugging the shoulders, fingers pressed, walk your hands to your feet to your hands, and bend your knees a lot. Place your hands on your shins, lift your chin, your chest, your gaze, and try to arch your back as much as you can. So you're showing off your tail feathers, you're opening your collarbones. And then as you let your head drop, you straighten the legs just a little bit. They're still bent. Then we bend our knees, lift our chin, our chest, we press into our shins, we lift our chest, widen our collarbones. And then release, let yourself drop. And then very Pilates style, pull your abdominals in and start to roll your spine up one bone at a time. The head is still hanging. The shoulder blades roll back, the chin lifts, and we lift our chest. Good, feet together, hands at the heart. We inhale, reach the arms up and around to the sides, look up towards your fingers. And then as you exhale, you dive forward, coming down. You bend your knees a lot, and you let your head hang. Now hands press into the shins, lift your chin, your chest, your gaze. Arch your back, like we just practiced. Tail feathers high. And then exhale, let the body fall. Straighten the knees just a little more. Then bend the knees a lot. Push your hands into your shins, lift your chin, your chest, and see how extended you can make your spine. Really lifting your tail feathers. And then exhale, let everything drop. One more time, lift your chin, your chest, really doing like a cat-cow with your legs straight, you know. Knees are soft. Then let your knees bend fully, hands to the ground, step one leg back, then the other. This time push your hips right back, head drops, and lift your tailbone high. Good. And then bend your knees, go into child's pose. Breathe out. Feeling the stretch in the armpit. The fingers are very far away. And then we lift our chest, push back again into, again, it's called downward facing dog. You lift your tail feathers high. You try and push your heels down and push through all 10 fingers. Breathing. And then you bend your knees. You come into child's pose, and the arms reach really far away. So you can start to open up the armpit joint. And one more time, push your hips back, press through all 10 fingers as your tail feathers lift, and then you draw your shoulder blades down your back. From here, shift into a plank position. And again, I have to kind of wiggle my feet back to make this happen. You go down to the knees or stay on the toes, and you go through your half push-up. You lower yourself all the way down. From the knees or the toes, you push yourself back up. Okay? Head is long, in line with the spine. Engage your abs. This is your Pilates work here. Abs deep, lower. And then you push up into your push-up again. Push from the knees or the toes. One more time. Engage the abs, plug the shoulders, and control your descent. Once we're down here, we'll stay here. Deepen your abdominals. Hands a little bit wider if you need them, and lift your chest and your gaze up. If you want to go from the forearms, it's still a lot of work. If you want to push more, it shifts the work to the lower back. So honor what your body needs. And then roll your spine back down out of the arch, your nose to the mat. Keep the forearms down, lift your chin, your chest. We go again into that cobra pose. Deepen your abdominals, and if you'd like, push through the arms so you extend fully. Chin lifted, collarbones wide. And then lower yourself back down. And release. One more time with an inhale, lift your chin, your chest, your gaze, push through your arms, lift your chest and widen your collarbones from the forearm or the hands. And then we lower back down. Cynthia, I suggest you work from the forearms, not the hands, okay? From the knees, your hands come back underneath your shoulders, and you push up into your push-up. A lot of strength there. Push your hips back, pike the hips, lengthen your spine. Good. And then you walk your feet to your hands. Your knees stay bent quite a bit. Hands to the shins, lift your chin, your chest, your gaze. So do you need this visual here? My knees are bent quite a lot. It's like a half squat. And then I straighten my knees a little as I drop my head. One more time, bend the knees a little, lift your chin, your chest, your gaze, push through your shins, lift your heart, and then release. Now hang here, Pilates style. Start to pull your abdominals in and roll your spine up one bone at a time. The last thing to roll back are the shoulders and the head lifts. Beautiful. And now you're going to grab your chair. We're going to start our, you can call them lunges or warrior positions. In any case, you set your chair up so that your right cheek is on the chair and your left cheek is off the chair. A side view of this, so you can see the placement here. Your left knee is underneath the hip socket. Okay? So we're here. Now, just start to press through your right foot as if you're about to stand up from the chair, you know? You push your right heel down into the floor, get your connection, and then let it go. So we're in this lunge supported by the chair. We push our right heel down. We feel our leg muscles engage. And then we release. And again, press down through the heel. Feel your spine lengthen. And either with your hands on your hips or out to the side, start to stand up in that lunge. And then lower your cheek back down to the chair. Okay? So the work is in the front foot, the front leg. As you exhale, press that heel down, lift up out of that lunge, out of the chair, and then lower yourself back down. Again, push through the right heel, press yourself up, and then lower that cheek back down. Looking straight ahead, abs engaged. Remember, the abdominals do the work here to help you lift as well. Push up. Now, once we're up, drop that back heel all the way down to the floor. So we're up off the chair. The back heel is pressing to the floor, and then we turn that back foot out a smidge. So it's not so parallel. From here, turn your hips open away from your chair, and then return your hips square. Okay? So you'll turn your hips open, so your back is now to your chair, and then you rotate until your hips are square above the chair. One more time, rotate your hips open. Good, make sure it's the pelvic bones moving. And then you rotate, so it's like your left hip comes forward and your right hip comes back. From here, reach the arms up to the sky and see if you can just let your right hip feel heavy. We're not squatting down to the chair again, but we're bending that right knee, stretching the back of the left leg while the right hip tries to drop to the chair for 3. Breathing and holding for 2. And then ladies, rotate that back heel so it can lift off the floor and bring yourself all the way back down to the chair. Ah, good. Go ahead and turn to face the other way. So it's your left cheek on the chair and your right cheek is off. So that leg goes back again. You almost have like 90 degrees in the knees. And we start with the left heel pressing down into the floor as if we're about to stand up. And then we let it go. Press that heel down as you try to lift. And then let it go. Paying attention to what fires in your leg, right? As you push the heel down, what do you feel? Do you feel glutes? Do you feel quad? Do you feel the other leg acting up? Release. And again, with the hands on the hips or arms to the side, we press that heel into the ground and we actually stand up out of the lunge. And then we bend that left knee and the right knee and we lower back down to the chair. Again, push through that front heel, lift. Abs deep, hips square, and then lower the hips back down. Again, push through that heel as you go up. And lower. And our fourth one here, press the heel down, lift, abs deep. Press the back heel to the floor. You might have to scooch it so it touches the floor. I know I do. And then turn that foot out a smidge. Hands on the hips. Rotate your hips open so your back is now to your chair. And then the pelvis rotates back towards that front foot. Rotate the pelvis open. Again, bum, your back is to the chair. And then we rotate our hips towards that front foot again. Rotate, open. So this is you essentially moving your pelvis on your leg bones. And then rotating forward, that back heel stays down, abs engaged. And one more time, rotate your hips open. Good. Rotate closed, keep it there, right? Square to that front foot. Reach your arms up to the sky, lift your chin. And then just see if your left hip can get heavier towards that chair. You know, you can bend the front knee a little bit more to get there, but you're pushing through that back leg. And we're doing our best to square our pelvis to that front foot. Lift the chin, lift the gaze. And then as you exhale, release the arms, lift that back heel so you're up on the toes again, and lower yourself with control, squaring yourself. Okay. So now we straddle our chair. You're sitting on the front edge of your chair and your knees are out to the side. Okay. Pretty wide. Okay. Now we're going to play around a little bit with the legs here. So we're going to rotate our knees in and then rotate our legs out. And it's the femur bone rotating in the socket. We rotate the femurs in and the knees kind of drop. Then we rotate our femurs out and the knees widen. Do one more time. Rotate the femurs in. Rotate the femurs out. A little duck showed up. Okay, with the femurs rotated out, press your heels down into the floor and lessen the load on the chair. You'll feel your inner thighs engage, maybe your glutes, and then release. And we do it again. Press the heels down. Yeah, and you'll know if you need to adjust where your feet are, because we eventually are going to stand, right? So find out where your feet need to be. You're lifting, you're almost hovering on that chair, and then release. Now push through the heels, hold it there. Ladies, panini press deeply. You know what that means, so pull in deep. And from here, just shift your hips off the chair. You'll kind of shift forward a little bit. Good. Now the arms go up to the sky and out to the sides. And your body weight is supported by your heel connection as well as your panini press connection. We're going to push through our heels. Our arms go up to the sky. As our arms float open, our knees bend with that sensation of wrapping open. You're just above your chair or in front of your chair. You reach your arms up, you stretch, engage, panini press, all of that, and then float the arms out to the side, knees wide, and lower back down. Good. And again, press, reach the arms up. Stretching. Now engage your abs. See how tall you can get. Stay that long in the spine as you lower back down. Weight in the heels and the toes are spread and pressing. One more time. Reach up. And then abs deepen and lower back down. Good. Holding it there. Now slowly start to shift your weight from foot to foot. The knees stay wrapped out, the arms are out to the side, and the abs are engaged. You'll feel like an awesome goddess Buddha. Or you'll feel really goofy, but keep doing it because it's good for you. Stretching side to side. This is a movement of your body weight over one foot to the other. 2 and 2 and 1 and 1. Come back to center. Bring yourself back down to the chair. Bring the legs in. Just give them a little wiggle. Good. And then bringing yourself up. Now you can go back on your mat, or you can just scoot your chair out of the way. We go back into this lunge posture. So when you're doing any lunges, whether you're in yoga or fitness, the feet, you kind of want them right underneath your hip sockets. You can always go wider if you feel like you need more support with balance. But the feet are right underneath the hip sockets. The right foot will go back first. And I want you to start up on those toes. Hands on the hips. Okay? then from here, reach the arms out and start to lower yourself down. This front leg taking the majority of the work. Okay? A little different than when we were on the chair. Push through that front leg and bring yourself back up. Okay? Options here, if it bothers the knees, you don't have to go all the way down. Coming all the way down to a point you can manage, and then push that front foot as you come all the way back up. One more time, coming down. Now we're gonna come down and stay down here. Let your toes release in the back so they're not tucked under, and then twist towards your left side. So the left leg's in front, you're gonna twist towards your left. Drop your left hip and panini press as you breathe out. Come back to center. Reach the arms, flex the back toes, push up through that front leg. Good, stay lifted through your spine. We lower down again. Keep the weight in that front foot. Spread the toes and lower. Release the back toes and twist over that left leg. As you twist, drop your left hip, panini press, and breathe out. Good. Coming back to center, flex the back toes, reach the arms, and press through that front leg. Good. One more time. Stay tall. Panini press. Resisting gravity with your core. Back toes turn under, twist over your left. Drop your left hip and breathe out as you panini press. Good. Good, good. Come back to center. Your right arm goes up, and you stretch over to the left. Good. Inhale, come center. We go again. Stretch up and over. If you need to lunge forward more, that's fine. Your front leg will be dying at this point, maybe. Come on up. Good. Lifting your spine, abs deep. One more time, stretch over. Good. And then lift all the way up and release. Step the right foot forward and roll your spine up as you have before. Head's the last thing to come up. Shoulders roll back, close your eyes, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just notice the difference in the sides. Okay? And then with your feet hip socket distance, reach the left leg back. Okay? You can do hands on hips just to remind you that you kind of are looking for them to be square. Okay? And then we start to lower down. Right? Most of the work trying to go on through here, but if you're tight here, you'll feel a lot. Push through that front foot, lift yourself up. Good. If you want to work with the arms in the sky, a little extra credit, lower yourself down. Pushing through that front heel, that front foot, lifting back up. My guess is that your sides will feel very different. Usually that's the case. Lower down. And then push all the way back up. And this last time we come down and we stay down. Beautiful. Let the arms come down. Let the toes in the back unfold. And go ahead and twist to the right. Let your right hip drop as you breathe out, panini pressing. Inhale, come center. Flex the back toe, reach the arms, and push yourself up. They can be in front of you or above you. And we lower back down. Let that right hip stay dropped. Uncurl the back toes, twist over, drop your right hip, and breathe out as you panini press. Come center. Reach the arms, flex the toes, and push up. Arms can be here or here. And we do one more. Bend the knees, lower down. Uncurl the toes, hands over the thigh. Drop that right hip as you twist. Big inhale, big exhale. Come center. Bring your hands down, step the left foot forward, and roll your spine up. Coming up, shoulders roll back, and release. Thank you, buddy. Totally forgot about that part. Bring yourself back down one more time. We have to do that side stretch. Left knee comes down. What is good about watching the people in your class, they'll remind you what you've forgotten. So that back hip is back. We stretch the arm up and over. and then release. Right? So you stretch up and again. And what you're going for here is this side stretch, but also the front of that left hip. If you panini press, that will open more. And then release. One more time. Stretch. And again, the sides are so different. I know I feel it. Chances are you might too. Release. Hands go down to the mat. Step your back foot forward. Drop your head completely. And we roll our spines up one vertebra at a time. Roll the shoulders back. Good. Feet together. Take a big inhale. We're going to go back down to the mat, but we're getting there yoga style. Reach up, look up to the sky. As you exhale, dive forward. The arms go out to the side and you release. Now your knees are bent here, but maybe a little less. You know, your head falls. See where you feel the stretch with your knees soft and your tailbone sticking out. We push our hands into our shins, bend your knees a lot, and send your tail feathers back as you lift your chin and chest. And then exhale, release hands down to the ground and walk your feet back so you can come down into child's pose. Okay, I'm gonna bring the camera down. We're gonna work a little more in the upper body here for a little bit. So you can get some close up of some shoulder action here. Okay, so first we're gonna go into cat-cow, where the hands are underneath your shoulders, the knees are underneath the hips, and you want your weight over your knees just as much as you have it over your hands. You drop your head, you breathe out, and you round your spine as much as you can. Push the floor as far away from you as possible. And then reverse. The tail feathers lift, the skull goes back to meet the tail feathers, and you widen your collarbones and open your throat. As you breathe out, we round. So the shoulder blades kind of glide, almost hike up by your ears as you push the ground away from you, and you tuck the tail. Then we arch our backs, we lift our chins, our chests, drawing the shoulder blades back, widening through the front. Last two, exhale, round, drop your head. Breathe out. And then reverse, lift your chin, your chest, your gaze, stretch. And final time, drop the head. Rounding the spine, pushing through the arms. And then arch that back. So this is just a spine movement. You do this almost, I don't know, every single fitness class. It's all over the place. It's so good though. That's why everyone does it. We need the spine to move and for you to breathe. We go into our push-ups, it's a little different story. The spine stays stable. So I'm going to give a little close-up here of hand position. Now, our first exercise is going a little deeper from our cobra pose earlier, okay? So the hands are right underneath your shoulders, and your elbows are doing their best to get down to the mat. So this right here is a stretch. You know, it might feel like, oh my gosh, my elbows won't make it to the mat. That's okay, but that's what we're working towards. So hands underneath the shoulders. Extra credit here, squeeze the elbows towards each other, and then start to pull the elbows down towards the mat. Now take a minute here, turn your head to the right, and just see what it feels like on the left side of your body. You might feel that left hip wanting to lift, or tightness across the left side of the neck. Okay, breathing. Come back to center, let the elbows pop. Turn your head the other way. Squeeze the elbows towards each other, and then pull the elbows down towards the mat. Again, paying attention to the right side of the body. What's happening there? Does the hip want to lift? Is the neck really stretching? Pulling those elbows down towards the mat as best we can. Good. Do it one more time. Hands underneath the shoulders. You pull the elbows towards each other and down. They might not touch the mat. That's okay. As you lower, turn your head to the right. And with every exhalation, you try to pull the elbows to the floor a little bit more. And one more time, coming back to center. Inhale, you can let your elbows rise. Turn your head the other way. As you exhale, the elbows squeeze and you pull your elbows towards the floor. Now hold that there. Do one more breath. Exhale, panini press. Pay attention to what's going on in the shoulders, and then your head comes back to center. Lift your chin, your chest, and do your best to pull the elbows towards the floor. We're not going to straighten our arms. We're just trying to get the elbows down on the mat. Lengthen your neck, all four sides, and then lower your spine back down. Release. Let the elbows pop up to the ceiling. Exhale, deepen your abs, the elbows draw to the ground. You lift your chin, your chest, your gaze, and you widen your collarbones. Really squeezing the shoulder blades back. And then lower your upper body down. Head releases, elbows float. Last time, deepen the abs. Elbows pull first. You lift your chin, your chest, your gaze. You widen your collarbones while shrink wrapping. Holding 3. Holding 2, keep drawing those elbows towards each other and down, and then lower everything down. Sit back in your heels and stretch. Reach. And then coming up on your knees. Here we go. I'll try and get a camera angle that works. So we're up here now. I'll be beheaded, okay? You don't need to see my head right now. You're gonna lift, and then your right leg is gonna go out to the side, okay? So we're here, and then the right leg goes out. If you're on a wood floor, I suggest getting a pad or a towel underneath your knees, okay? But we're here. The foot has a couple options. You can kind of put it flat. If that's too much, you can turn it out, okay? This is a little easier to let the hip drop in the socket, but play around with it, you know? See where you're at. Nice. So you've got yourself set up there. Right foot out to the side. If it's your left foot, yeah, do your right foot. There you go. So we're all on the same side. Right foot up. Reach your left arm up to the ceiling and stretch over towards your right leg. Lift up. Your left hand slides down your body and your right arm stretches away from the foot. Really reaching. We come up. The right hand goes on the thigh and it's light. You're not putting any pressure on that leg. But you stretch over, opening up the left side of your body. Lift up, your left hand slides down, and your right arm stretches. Reach. One more time. Lift up, your hand goes to your thigh, stretch up and over. And last time, the hand goes down, stretch up, and almost glide out of that hip. Good. And then bring the arm down, release. Let's go to the other side. So the left foot goes out. Again, you have foot options. You can turn the leg out, or you can try to anchor the foot to the floor and let that hip sort of drop a little bit, okay? The left hand on the thigh, your right arm goes up to the sky. Just take a nice big inhale. Panini press, right? Help yourself be lifted out of your hips. And then we come down, the hand slides down the thigh, and we stretch out the other side. Lifting. I invite you just to pay attention to how the sides feel compared to each other. And it's a different body. At least it feels that way to me. Stretch over. Panini press. And one final time. On the thigh. Stretch. Right? Lifting your heart, opening your hips. And then your hand goes down the side thigh and you stretch over. Nice. And then bring yourself back to center. Hands down, feet between the hands, or walk your feet towards your hands. Let your head fall and slowly roll your spine up. Shoulders roll back and you lift. Okay, so entering the fitness realm here. This is an okay thing to do as long as you do not have a hip replacement. If you have a hip replacement, you'll actually be doing regular lunges. This is called a curtsy squat or a curtsy lunge. And I want to kind of get a close-up here of, well, really my butt, so you can see what's happening, okay? So in a curtsy lunge, we hold our hands to our heart. We're going to step the left foot behind the right foot. And then we start to bend our knees as if we're squatting down towards the floor and pushing up. Okay, so frontal view, this is my left foot behind my right, and we bend, both knees bend, but ladies, all of your body weight is in this front leg. This back leg, I call it a kickstand. It's barely doing anything. We're lowering down as much or as little as the knees and hips bend, and then we push back up, okay? So let's just try to set up on the other side, and then we'll go through our little repertoire. So now bring the right foot behind the left. Again, it's a kick, sorry, I'm about to fall over. Kickstand for your balance. It has none of your body weight. Hands at the heart, and then you bend both knees. This takes hip pliability, and then push up, because otherwise it just goes straight to the knee, okay? So we want to bend at the hip, both hips, and both knees. And then push up, okay? Let's do just one more on the side. Do not forget your beloved panini press, which is helping hold up some of your body weight. And then push through that leg. Good, and then just shake it out. Okay, so hands at the heart. We'll do a short set here. We'll alternate it with another exercise and then come back. Your right foot steps behind your left, kickstand style. Okay, it's the same side we just did, but it's all right. Panini press. Bend your knees, bend your hips. Inhale as you lower. Exhale as you push back up. 1, good. Inhale as you lower, bending the knees and hinging at the hips. And then press, deepening the abs. 2, good. As you go down, I know you're inhaling, but hold on to your waist integrity. Exhale, push up. 3, good. And again, lower. And push up through that foot 4, those leg muscles. And one final time, lowering. And then we push up and lift. 5, good. And switch. Left foot goes behind the right, hands at the heart or the hips, and we lower. The back foot is a kickstand. And we push up. 1. This will give you insight as to how your pelvis works under load, right? You might feel one leg working more than the other, right? Go ahead and bend. Notice where your pelvis goes, engage your abs and pull up. Last couple here, bending the majority of your body weight in this front leg and pushing up. And one final time, bending, abs deep, lower, and then push up. Now right away, put the left foot back down, step the right foot back and a little wider, almost as wide as your hips. The back foot turns out. Good. Now turn your hips so they're open to your side. Bend your front knee only, just a bit. And then your hand, this is peaceful warrior, your back hand glides down the leg as your other arm goes up and reaches to the sky. So I will back up so you have a full-fledged view of this, but the hips are open. The front knee only is bent and we're stretching back, opening up that side. And then come forward, that front knee is bent so you can bend your elbow and rest on it and stretch the other arm. Look up to the ceiling. With that front knee rotated out. We come back up, we do it again. The hand slides down the leg, the left arm reaches up to the sky, and our left leg is still bent. Breathing. And then our forearm goes down, and that right arm stretches up and over. Open your hips to the side of your mat. One final time, the hand slides down the leg, reach up, stretching, and then the forearm goes down, you stretch up and over, reach. So you're basically in this lunge the whole time. That's a bit of work. And then come back, lift straight out of that leg, turn your body to face that front foot, and then step the back leg forward. And we do the other side. So now the left leg goes back, about as wide as the hips. The foot in the back is down, and then we turn our hips open to the side of our mat. Okay, bend that front knee, but your weight is in your pelvis. I can't stress that enough. It's not like we bend our knee and all our body weight jets into it. Our knee bends, but our pelvis drops towards the floor. This will save you a lot of problems in your knees if you start to get this concept. Pelvis is heavy. Then we rotate it open. Then our left hand slides down our left leg as our right arm goes up to the sky, and we look up towards that hand. Okay? And then we reverse. Our right elbow bends, and we stretch up and out of our left sides. Really breathing. Most likely you'll have a tighter side, right? And then we come back. This hand glides down the leg. Our right arm goes up to the sky. We look towards it as our pelvis is heavy. And then we bend our right elbow, comes down to the thigh, and we stretch up and over. Reaching. One final time. Hand glides down. We stretch our arms up to the sky. Forearm comes down. We stretch and breathe. Try to make the longest line possible between your left foot and your left fingers while the right hip sinks towards the ground. Good. Arms come down. Turn your body to face that front foot. The left heel lifts, and we step forward. March the legs out, and we do one more round of curtsy squats. So the left foot forward, right foot goes back as a kickstand, hands at the heart, and we bend that front knee. And we push up one. Good. Abs deep, we bend. And we push up two. Good. Your pelvis is stable. Hands at the hips or the heart. Push up three. Last two. Lower. And lift. And one more time. Bend. And lift. And then we switch. Right foot down. Left foot goes back. Hips square. Hands, heart, or hips. And we come down. And lift one. Good. And bend, abs deep, hips square as best you can. And push two. Good. Panini pressing, spine's long. Weight in that front leg, three. Last two here. And press. Final time, bend. And press, lift up, shake the legs all the way out. All right, we're gonna bring ourselves down to the mat now. So lying down, before you lie down actually, if you haven't already, bring yourself to the front edge of the mat. Hands together at the heart. Reach your arms around up to the sky, take a big inhale, look up to your fingers. And as you exhale, arms go to the side, dive down, hands to the mat with your knees quite bent. Step one and then the other leg back. So you're in this downward dog. And I want you to run out your heels. A lot of the complaint with downward facing dog is wrist and shoulder issues. To help prevent those issues, plug your shoulders down your back away from your ears and actively put your body weight in all 10 fingers, pressing back so that the body weight shifts to the heels and the hips. Running 3 and 2, and then lift both heels up, lower both heels down, bend your knees, and sit back in the child's pose. Take a big inhale. Exhale, release. And then coming around to the front to sit on your bum. Hi, Manny. So we're right here. And we're gonna go into boat pose, which is in Pilates called teaser, and in yoga called, I think it's called Navasana, but it's the boat pose. It's a little different though, where we start on our bum cheeks and our palms face each other. We hinge back with our very uber strong panini press. This is enough perk. If you feel like progressing, you lift one or both legs up and you hold. Your shoulders are plugged, your neck is long. And again, hands are pressing next or towards each other as if you had a magic circle. So lifting your heart, your head, and then the play here becomes possibly extending the legs, which is crazy hard, okay? Hi, you guys, I'm almost done. Press the legs, shoulders plugged. and bend. And then shoulders plug, heart lifted one final time. Extend, deepening through your core. Lower the legs, and with the help of the hands, if you need it, we go down to the mat, one bone at a time. And once you're down, you bend your knees so we can bridge. Our very last exercise here. So feet lined up with the hip sockets, arms down by your side, and then push your hips up, collarbones wide. And just breathe for a minute. Let your glutes release while you're up in the air. And let your neck and throat lengthen. Reach the arms up to the ceiling and then roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Last round here, press the arms down, lift your hips up, widen your collarbones. Hips lifted, toes pressed, and the neck is long. So it's like the kneecaps and the skull are polar opposites. Then reach the arms up to the ceiling, plug your arms in their sockets, and then roll down one bone at a time. Once you're at the bottom, release the hips completely, straighten the legs out, and stretch the arms above your head. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, reach the arms to the ceiling, lift your head and shoulders, and roll up to sit up with or without the help of the arms. Lifting up. Nice. And you are all finished.